Welcome back, and it's puzzle time again with a new case for you with Sudoku Sleuth. Now, today's case may be seemingly simple with another 6 by 6 grid. We solved another 6 by 6 grid only a handful of days ago. Two Thermo Snack by Diehard. Now, if I look at the grid here, I can see the two thermos. That's obvious. I'm just kind of wondering if this is meant to represent teeth, maybe, as the snack, and they're chewing away at these thermos, perhaps. Or that could be my imagination running wild. Never matter. Moving on. So, for those of you that are returning to the channel, you must be familiar by now that our cases are often Sudoku variants. So, meaning they're Sudoku puzzles with a twist that allows us to fill in a grid that's completely devoid of numbers, such as today's puzzle is another no exception to that rule, where Die Hard has generously given us 0 digits to start in today's puzzle. Let's take a look at the rules. So each row, column, and 6-cell region. So today we don't have the standard Sudoku boxes. Instead, we've got 6-cell regions. And each of those, plus each row, plus each column, must contain the digits 1 through to 6. Digits on thermometers must increase from the bulb end. We've seen this before on the channel, where if this number was, let's say, a 1, this has to be a 2, but we can't go back down to 1, for example. That would just break. What else? Cells separated by a Knight's move must contain different digits. Now, I don't think we've seen this rule on the channel before, but Knight's move Sudoku puzzles are probably one of my favorite ones. And let's just illustrate what it means by a Knight's move away. If you're familiar with Knight's moves in chess, so that means they can move 2 steps forward, 1 step up. So this, for example, cannot be the same digit, even though it's in a different row, different column, and also a different 6 by 6 region. But nevertheless, this is still invalid in today's puzzle because it is a Knight's move away. And if you think about where Knight's moves are in this particular case, that's a knight move away, that's a knight move away. And there's a surprising number of cells that end up not being allowed. All of these cannot be the same cell just by the addition of a knight's move today. And that's all the rules that we have for today. So if you wish to play along, link in the description down below. And with that said, let's get to solving today's case. Let me just restart today's clock and we'll get on with solving it. You can see I'm immediately drawn to these two thermos as realistically the only clue where we can possibly start today. So I'm going to first color code some of these as purple, blue, green, and yellow. These have to be made up from the digits, from the colors, I should say. Orange, red. I ran out of colors. Use purple, blue. Oh yeah, and purple, of course. Now, I suspect this cannot be a purple, because if you think about it, purple has 3 digits that are larger than it. So if the smallest digit this can be would be a 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, sorry, the largest digit this can be is 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you put 3 in here, what would these 3 cells be? Would be 2, 1, and then inevitably a 0, which is not allowed in today's puzzle. So this cannot be purple. This is one of orange or red, and purple is in one of these 2 cells. And we now know these 3 cells must be yellow, orange, and red. Because of knight's move, this cannot be yellow. So yellow is actually quite restricted here, joined by orange and red. In fact, this can only be one of orange or red. just continuing with my example earlier, in general, this cell, because of all the constraints, actually removes a large number of options with Knight's move as well. So that's not possible, that's not possible, that's not possible. And if we look at this top left region for a second, these are the only two cells that can be yellow. Column, Knight's move away. So these are the only two that can be yellow. And continuing with the idea of Knight's move and column restrictions, if this is a yellow, this can't be a yellow, clearly because it's in the same column. This can't be a yellow either because it's a Knight's move away. So this isn't yellow. This is yellow. That's not yellow. This is yellow. I'm now wondering if we can actually complete all the yellows in the grid. And the answer is yes. So given we've removed these two rows from this region to ensure there is still a yellow in this region, that's got to be yellow. So there's no more yellows in here. And we still need two yellows in the bottom two rows. So that's got to be yellow, as the last row here, row 6, can only be reached by this region. So this has got to be the 5th row yellow. And then the last place that we can have yellow is in here. And, I'll just explain why that is. You've got, obviously, yellows seeing all the other cells in this region. And that's it. And that's actually quite helpful because if you see how advanced yellow is on this thermal, we still need two more cells that are larger than yellow up here. So this realistically can't be a 3, because if this is a 3, that's 4, 5, 6. What would these two digits be? 7 and 8, which are not allowed in today's puzzle. So in fact, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all the yellows are 4, and this is 5 and 6, followed by a 1, 5 pair, and we actually know the order of these. This has to be the 5, this has to be the 1, because 5 is in the same region here. And I'm just going to fix some colors. And we're off and running. So this is one of 1, 2, 3, but we've got 1 in the same region, so this is 2, 3. We still need 6 in this region, and you can see these two cells, so this is in fact the 6. We need a 6 in the bottom region, and it can see 6s from all of these locations. So this is the 6. We need a 6 in column 6 of the grid. As you can see, this is the only cell that's left that sees it, that's available. Given these two are in the same region, this one is in the same region, and can even see it by Knight's move. So this is the 6. That leaves us with only one of these 3 cells for a 6. It can't be this cell, because if Knight's move, one of these two is a 6. Plus one of these two. Can we resolve this at all? Let's have a think about that for a second. I think the answer is no. All of these options are currently possible. Right, these have to be from 1, 2, and 3. That can't be a 1 because of Knight's move. 5 has to be in here. This has to be one of 2 or 3. 2, 3, 5. 1 has to be in these two. And in fact, we can disambiguate this because, again, of Knight's move. So this is the 1. This is a 2, 3 pair because the 5s are in here, and indeed it sees 5 down later in the column. This 2, 3 has got to be the same 2, 3 as this one. Not given I've used colors already, I'm just going to leave it alone for a second. That's not 1. This is the 1. Right. This cell sees both 2, 3s. This is the first 2, 3, and this is the second 2, 3, and we know that's different because they're in the same column with knight's move. So that's a 5. That's not 5. That's 2, 3 joined with a 5, 6, and we know the order of that because of knight's move. That's the 5. Pardon me. That's the 5. That's the 6. That's 2, 3 pair. That's 2, 3 pair. So this is one of. This can only be 1 because it sees 2, 3 in the row, 4, 5, and 6 in the region. So this is 1. That's another 2, 3, and now we know the order of these because of that 2 down here. So that's 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 6, 5, 6, 3, 2, and we'll pretty much solve this puzzle. That's the 1, 2, 3, and 5. And that's quite a short puzzle for today, actually. Probably will mean that I'll end up thinking about posting another one later today so that you can enjoy a slightly longer solve for today's mystery. I hope you enjoyed today's puzzle and that you do play along. But before I wrap up today's video, I suspect that you all would prefer that the colors are correct on the grid. I often find that I'm not quite doing this as well as I should. Let's just quickly correct all of these. 2s are blue, reds are green, and that's the fully completed grid. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all tomorrow, or at least potentially for the next puzzle.